there's a few different things with this question because we're talking about a school that may have potentially just failed to meet, their educational obligations. But when you say, because I have more questions, of course, because when you say that you were supposed to have your degree by June, and that because of this school who didn't do their due diligence by providing with their scheduling and also with hiring teachers, you had to take on additional student debt, and that's either through additional aid or out of your own pocket to cover an extra semester of school. So that means that we may not have graduated on time and just a bunch of other different things. But my question with this would be is what were the representations that were made to you when you enrolled into this school? What type of education was this? Was this an education that was set up on a scheduled type of learning? Meaning that you had to be in a class between 6 to 9:50, whatever the time frame was, they tell you with Miss such and such. Was it classes that were scheduled like that, or was this some type of asynchronous type of learning where you were learning at your own pace? There wasn't necessarily a scheduled time. And then also when we talk about the instructor, that there wasn't instructors that were, there's instructors that are available, but this wasn't like a structured class. So that would be my question as well. Was there other students that experienced this other harm? That may not be something you know, but what actually took place and during the time frame that this was happening, was the school being transparent with you? Were they communicating with you about what was happening? But even still, a school has a duty. They have to make sure that when they are offering coursework or offering classes, that they're not harming you in the process because they, administratively, they failed to do what they are required to do as far as making sure that if there's courses that are being offered, that, there's space for you to attend. And not only that, that there's an instructor, a qualified instructor that is available to teach the classes. So it's just more or less knowing, more or less what all took place, because I'm assuming you're asking this because you may be considering putting in a borrow defense application. And in the borrow defense application, it talks about misrepresentation of educational services along with other things and that financial harm that comes along with those misrepresentations. So like I said, what things were represented to you when you were enrolling into this school? Did they tell you that the classes were going to be structured, that there was going to be, an instructor that's going to be teaching? What type of learning was it? So that way we can kind of have a better understanding of where things, were, because they can't, bring harm to you because they administratively failed to do what they, are required to do if that's something that they represented. But yeah, let me know.